sifting through all this data was wicked hard. I know that like AI is supposed to help us with this and so is Gemini, but let me show you like how freaking tricky this was. So this right here is Ahrefs, and there are so many different ways that you can download and look at data and what you can look at. And I forgot to add SERP features for everything, so I went through like a ton of different configurations of all this data, and I didn't have that for everything. So what I what I did do though is like, this is why I think being dyslexic and using colors, I think that that's what makes it so much easier to just like be able to find patterns, right? So I didn't notice that these were named as either SERPs or terms. But that's really all you're gonna get out of this particular Ahrefs subscription type. And so the big picture is that I am trying to do some feature engineering so that I can do a better job of predicting which of these websites I should focus on the most, right? Because I'm a data scientist and that's just what we do. Like we don't just like pick something. But I do know that that strategy also works, right? Like just looking at that. But um, I also am, while I'm doing this, like preparing for interviews and stuff, right? So I want to make sure that I'm still brushed up on a lot of like the data science concepts and the Python stuff, right? So um it's essentially like I thought that I would be able to extract from all of this data new ways of looking at the data, but honestly I don't think that there really is too many new ways to like spin this, right? So on the right hand side is where I'm using code cursor because I'm running out of O1 preview calls over here, like in my own subscription, right? I think you can see them. Let's see them here. Yeah, see O1 preview. And so I don't remember like when it comes up, but it's like, but I don't have any left for tomorrow, so I just toggled between subscriptions. Um, right, so I can still use the ones that I get out of code cursor. But it was giving me like code that I'm sure was legit code, but it just on a engineering level, it just was not making any sense, like why it would tell me to do all this stuff just to find out if there was traffic potential for stuff by looking at the at the cost per clicks, right? Which is ironic because that's what earlier today the affiliate marketing dude made a video on, was like cost per clicks and stuff. And that's like Nito Burrito, right? Like all of that is all good. But if you notice over here, right, like I have there I can tell that there's like a bigger pattern than just that, because this is all like extrapolated already, right? So I already know from looking at the data that like which domains I should pay the most attention to first, right? And this is going to matter because this tells me like which ones I should make sure to have videos for, like which ones to structure a little bit differently or whatever, right? Like it just gives me new insights. But I just wanted to show you like that this is a different way to approach the data visualization. And so that's why I really like colors. If you're curious, this is what I use for the ability to be able to look at it all in colors. So in VS Code, because people have asked me these like this kinds of thing before, right? So I use the one that is like the brackets coloring. So dark green, and I'm pretty sure that I use that, or a vampire theme. Yeah, Dracula theme, right? I don't know which one overrides. I could look for the JSON that defines that, but there is, so indent rainbow like is really helpful to me for reading stuff. Which one is the other one? Highlight words. So like if I highlight a word, see, it like highlights it in all the different places for me. So when I read, I don't read like I've left to right, top to bottom. Usually I just start in the middle of the page and then I realize, oh, I'm not even like reading in the right place. But when you write code, you could just like kind of like see, like I know that this happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then I can like really quickly make the associations that this has to do with defense, this one has to do with attorney, this one, so they all have like something to do with lawyers, right? Obviously, like that's a pretty straightforward example. Then if I wanted to look at like so the, I guess like to give this more context why this even matters is I was trying to use AI to help me figure out how to do the clustering so that, and I was calling them link circles before, but actually a better word that I think would better explain why this is not just, choosing like all the pet products with the pet products or whatever, right? Which is probably what's going to end up happening anyway, honestly, because these groupings are so different from each other that there's not going to be much benefit in not keeping them in these 6 categories. However, the feature engineering that the AI suggested was to look at it as cost cost per click, which is what affiliate marketing dude was saying earlier today. Today is Wednesday, August the 2nd, 10:48 p.m. Okay, so those are 2 ways to kind of whittle down like what to focus on next, right? And then from here, it gets easier to decide what the content should be and what the AI prompt should be. Because if you notice here, like it tells you like you should do a featured snippet to compete with the person that is writing stuff about content creator, right? And then like that difficulty is a little bit too high for me to want to even mess with that. But I think that that's what affiliate marketing dude was saying earlier today. And I know that I like talk about these people but to me it's like if somebody's been doing this for like 25 years and they're already at the millions, like that's cool. I'm going to learn from, right? So when I go back and do this later, like I make sure that I iterate in my head with like the nerdy words that I might be asked in an interview. And that I still grasp the concepts. But I can tell you that when I go to like the data science side of things, they don't really know any of this stuff, which has always blown my mind. Like I've never known any data scientist other than myself that really knows SEO like in and out. So there's this really interesting like crack, right, in the walls of what is the tech world, I feel. And it's like, and that's the big gap that can be filled is like, you have the small business people and then you have like the big nerds in the big labs, right? But or like the nerds that sit inside these like startups that just focus so much on data, but there's no real connection to anything other than like their list of clients with their very niche thing. But SEO as a concept like has not permeated at least not much of the data scientist world that I've seen, nor has anybody talked about it. I took one class in web development at CU Boulder, and that teacher was amazing, and we spent a lot of times on databases. And the only reason that I know that these things collide or connect is because I have a web development degree also. Like otherwise, I wouldn't even know that that was the question I should ask. And also, like I recently paid, actually, I've rarely paid for any kind of education, but I did pay for the sales training. And before that, the reason I found out about the sales training was I paid for some SEO, what would you call them, gurus, I guess, and like top notch, right? So I understood the web development side, but even in web development school, like at a accredited school in Seattle, like for like a legit degree, they never taught us anything about SEO. And it might have been because it was like as Google was being invented, which I know ages me. I know. But I'm just going in circles. But what I'm trying to say is like, okay, so the reason why I think that there is an advantage to eyeballing your data, which is like step 1 for any data scientist, right? Like look at your data. I forgot what the even words are, but what the words even are. But it's basically like look at your data. And so when I look at the data here, it is the CSV. Let me see if I can find it. It's like a CSV or something like that. CSV. Oh, it's not like actually only, Rainbow CSV. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. You have to like check them sometimes. This one has 9 million downloads and they're all 5 stars, and I would have to agree. And then there's a way to toggle so that you can actually edit the CSVs, but I don't like to add that because then I'm like messing with those things more than I am with like actually doing the actual work, right? But if you notice, see like all of this, what would you call it? Like information, right? Like to me, it's very normal to read information like this. And at the same time that I'm reading that, I'm also reading this information over here, right? And then at the same time that I'm looking at that, I was looking at something else. I can't remember where it was. It might've been over here. Yeah, I was looking at like the way to like separate out the words this way. And then I was also looking at Ahrefs. right? So when that's why I think that's why I struggle a little bit when I have to ask people questions, because I don't think that there's a separation. Like in my head, there's not a separation between the way artificial intelligence calculator death appears right here with like 23,000 hits, right? And then at the same time, the fact that it is also over here in one of these, and I think it must have been this one. Circles. Yeah, right here, see? Artificial intelligence death calculator. So I think that I guess I just wanted to show you, I don't guess, like this is what I want to show you, that yeah, you can use AI to help you with a lot of stuff, but it is not able to like do the thinking for you to that degree yet. So yeah, it can give me code to try to like squish all this data together, but the code that it was giving me was like kind of meaningless, right? Like I was saying, all it was doing was going in this huge roundabout way to like tell me to look at the cost per click, which is ridiculous because there's more to it than that. So if I am strategically planning, right? Because I'm gonna have to like go back to work, and plus I want to get to play with my dogs. Like I want to get to have life. Like I don't want to be a workaholic, or like let something else, like my tree died because I was busy at a work from home job, and like I was under so much pressure to explain something to someone, like I don't want to go back to that, and I should stop bringing that up. Like okay, I should talk about like what I do want, right? Because this is as much about like flipping the script on life, and it's October 2nd, there's some eclipse or something, so today's supposed to be one of those timeline days where you can switch all your energy to wherever you want it, and like basically like get to say this is what I want to do. So what I want to get to do is like continue to look at these puzzles, because I love looking at the colors and like making sense of the numbers, right? And that's what makes it easier for me with all the colors. Who can blame me for that? It would be nice if if Google, when you look at their Google Sheets and such, right? If theirs had an easier way to look at the text with colors, and sure, I can highlight them, right? But then it's like I spend all my time trying to prettify this. I'm sure that there's actually like, maybe I can ask Gemini since we're here. And the reason why I was trying to do this was like, okay, maybe Gemini, since I'm using that free trial, maybe Gemini can help me traverse between sheet 1 and sheet 2, right? So these are my own domains. These are the ones that I'm clustering, which I was calling link circles earlier, but it's actually going to be more like clustering because it's way more data intense than just making decisions about how stuff fits together, right? So, but it can't, it actually cannot. So I asked it like, how can I use sheet 1 to help me come up with a way to cluster data for feature engineering and forecasting for sheet 2? And then it's like, I'm not able to do that, but I can help you build tables and formulas. So I give it a thumbs down. So then I'm gonna see if it actually lets me color code. Can you please color code the words in the columns so that each column is a different color and easier for my dyslexia? Let's see how easily it can do that. It can't help me with anything. Create a formula that calculates the total number of funnel type sites in the table. Really? Like it, I mean, to do that, you just like drag the little plus sign, right? I think you just drag the plus sign. Yeah, I'm not like exactly, oh, oops, you don't do that. But yeah, I think you can just do this thing. Where is it? Like view more column actions. Man, sometimes like they change some of these a little bit, but I think you can just do like, you should be able to just do this, and then there's like a button, and it like lets you pick between those, and then it lets you color. I think it is create a filter. So then, yeah, see, like how many are a funnel? Okay. And then you just click on this. Condition. yeah, see, like then you just like select the thing here. Text contains funnel. Man, like I need that thing to I need this thing to explain to me like how this has changed recently. Now this whole video is fucking stupid. Man,